What's up, droners, and welcome back to The Void, maybe our new shooting location. Tell me what you think of it. Either way, today, another droner dialogue, and what we're gonna be talking about is what you do when somebody approaches you and you're flying. A lot of different people will approach you when you're flying, I promise you that. But I just found it to be a real common thing that people approach me when I'm flying a drone. So let's talk about how to handle it. Let's get into it. So who are the people who approach me when I wanna fly a drone? The most common are people who are curious about the drone. Full honest, like that's normally what it is. Like, it's the same exact questions. I've actually seen a t-shirt online that actually answers every single one of the questions, but they always ask the same questions every single time. How high does that thing go? How fast does it go? How long does it stay in the air? How much did that thing cost? Like every time, like that is without question. Oh, I'm sorry, and which one is that? Is that a Phantom? No, it's an Inspire. Yeah, I know. My cousin has one of those. Like somebody always knows somebody who flies drones, and they always want to tell you about that person who flies drones as if that really matters while I'm flying the drone. So I have a couple tips about how to handle when people approach you and you're flying a drone, because it is incredibly annoying, because obviously if you're doing cinematography, inspections, or whatever you're doing, you're focusing on that. So biggest tip overall, without question, is never fly your drone alone, ever. Every single time I fly, especially when I'm being paid to fly, I always pay an assistant to be there with me. My assistant's first duty is not to stop people from running interference on that. They're helping me with a bunch of other stuff. But as soon as someone's approaching me and I'm the pilot, I'm flying, and that's what I'm doing, then guess what? That's your first duty, is to run interference. I don't want to be bothered when I'm flying my drone, because at that point it can be dangerous. A lot of people don't realize that a drone is a liability for the person flying it. If it falls out of the sky, if the blade cuts somebody's eye or whatever, guess who's liable? It's not the drone, it's you. So if you're doing that, then you need to understand that you're taking on that liability, and anyone distracting you or causing you to have any form of danger or like taking away your attention from what you're doing, then that's a problem and it shouldn't be happening. So that's number one, is having somebody that can run interference, pretty much having an assistant, tech, whatever you want to call them, having somebody there with you to help you when you fly the drone to make sure they can keep people back. Now, if you're by yourself, which sometimes is the case, because I like to fly all the time, I can't afford to always have somebody with me, and I like to do it for fun a lot too, is I typically, in a very calm and nice voice, I don't look away from the drone, because you're supposed to keep your eye on it, I just say, hey, cool, thank you for asking those questions. I love to answer your questions, but just give me a minute, let me finish my flight. When I land, I'll answer whatever questions you have. Normally that shuts them up, sometimes it doesn't. They're like, oh wow, cool, all right, no problem, man. So yeah, but I just really wanna know, because I gotta go. And I'll say, hey man, I'm sorry, I gotta focus, and the best part about a drone is you can walk while you're flying it, so I can just walk away. While I'm flying, I've made mistakes falling and doing stuff like that. I don't recommend walking while you fly a drone, but you can. And that leads to another story, is in South Carolina, I had an officer approach Dominic, who was my number one flying partner, and I were flying with all of our permits and everything like that, and we got literally pulled up on by a police officer who approached us very aggressively, wanting us to land a drone while we were in critical battery failure. You can learn all about that on that other episode, because I actually did a whole video about that, so check that out. Or another time when, again, Dominic and I were flying, we were flying in a place where, we were partially permitted to fly, we were kind of just doing it, and some guy, for some reason, I believe thought we were filming him, and got very aggressive towards us, to the point where we're standing in a parking lot, he pulls his car like right up onto us, like right there, turns his headlights on, and just full high beams in our faces while we're flying, and it's like dusk, so like it's kind of bright, and then like he's honking his horn, gets out of the car, you boys about to get your little toy taken away, you're not supposed to be flying here. When in reality we were actually in a very legal place to fly. He actually had no reason to be doing that and literally was harassing us. So how do you handle that? At the time, I'm gonna be fully honest, we were terrified. So what we did was we landed the drone, put it away, and we left. But now, I would want to diffuse the situation. Being the assistant at that point, I run interference. I stand between that person and the pilot, and then I talk to them. Say, hey sir, how are you today? Like, we're not filming you. I don't mean to be a problem, but as soon as we get this landed, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. We're not just be as kind to them as possible. Don't allow yourself to be angry like them. I've even heard some advice is that if somebody's being angry towards you and you want to diffuse it, just don't look them in the eyes. So just look down and just talk to them, and just it is a form of submission, but at the same time, it's also a form of diffusion to make sure they don't do anything stupid that can get you hurt, get them hurt, get your drone broken, or anything like that. When your drone's in the air, the number one goal is safety. So you wanna make sure that whatever it takes, you get that drone back to where you took it off or wherever you want it to land, and that you get it back down to the ground safely, and then you can deal with whatever after that. So that's my advice. The t-shirt probably helps too to answer the questions. But biggest things, make sure you have somebody with you, and always, you are the person in command, you are the pilot in command, you are the authority when you're in the air, because you're also in charge of everyone around you's safety. Don't forget that. Droners, thank you for checking out another Droner Dialogue, because we do it out here. If you want to see more Droner Dialogue, guess what? Bam, they're right here. Or if you want to see the greatest intro video that a droner like myself has ever made, it's up there and it's great. You'll like it. Make sure you check out our Facebook and Instagram, because Droner News never dies. It just moves on to Facebook. And the Instagram is just lit. Like, it's just curated so beautifully. You'll love it. And make sure that you share this video and subscribe, because that shows us that you support what we're doing and makes us keep doing it. And as always, stay fly.